Hey everybody, Mr. Pally here. Today we're going to go over summarizing informational text. This is a classwork assignment, so you can be following along on the guided worksheet in your Google Classroom. It should be under February 3rd, Summarizing Info Classwork. So there's 5 basic steps to summarizing information. We're going to read an example article here that it's going to be similar to some of the articles that you'll be doing for research during your science fair project. So at this point in the course, you should have already selected your science fair topic or selected your top 3 and submitted them to me. If you haven't done that yet, you're going to need to do that as soon as you can so that you can move on to the next step, which is the research phase, which will be starting next week. So to do this research, I want to go over how to summarize information. So the first step is when you're reading an article is that you're going to read piece by piece. Don't try to read the whole article all at once. You're going to read a few lines or a paragraph of the text at a time. Next, after reading through once, you're going to identify the main subject or idea. So that's like a keyword. It's not your summary sentence yet, but it's just a keyword to kind of focus your brain about what are we talking about here. Next, we're going to delete trivial or unnecessary material. So a lot of the time in articles and writing, authors put a lot of information that doesn't really get to the main point. So we're really trying to get to the main point when we're taking our notes, so we don't write down unnecessary information. Next, we're also going to delete or cross out redundant or repeating materials. And then finally, we're going to select or create a topic sentence, which is a summarizing sentence, of all the information that's left over. So anything that's not crossed out, we're going to look at that and then try to create a new sentence that summarizes everything left over. Okay, so the way we're going to go through this lesson, we're going to look at this article from the United States Library of Congress. It's going to be answering the question, how does static electricity work? And the way this worksheet is set up, either whether you're doing this on your phone, on this document directly, or you have a printout version of this document, we're going to be looking at each of these paragraphs or group of text, one chunk at a time. And we're going to be following those 5 steps that I just outlined on every paragraph. So it's a pretty short article, only about 5 paragraphs or so. But what we're going to do in this video is we're going to go through step by step on this first paragraph here, and then you're going to complete the rest of these for a classwork grade. All right, let's get started. So the first thing is to read through it. So you can follow along on your worksheet or read along with me on this slide. I'll read it out loud. Have you ever walked across the room to pet your dog, but got a shock instead? Perhaps you took your hat off on a dry winter's day and had a hair-raising experience. Or maybe you have made a balloon stick on the wall after rubbing it against your clothes. Why do these things happen? Is it magic? No. It's not magic. It's static electricity. Okay, so that's what we're going to be working with. This is an introductory paragraph, so you're going to probably notice there's a fair amount of fluff, but we'll get to that. So we've read the lines above. That's step 1. Step 2 is to come up with our main idea. So for me, when I read through this, at first I'm reading through a couple of examples of something. Right? They're listing a few scenarios, and what do those scenarios have to do with? They have to do with static electricity. So for me, my main idea here is static electricity. I also wrote down examples. And those are the main keywords or main ideas that come to my mind. So I'm going to go ahead and write static electricity in my guided summarizing worksheet here. Let me fix my spelling. So static electricity is my main idea. So next, we're going to be, static electricity is the keyword that we're going to be focusing in on. So now what we want to do is go ahead and look through this paragraph again and try to delete trivial, unnecessary information that doesn't seem really directly about static electricity. So what we want to do here is delete sentences, delete phrases, groups of words that feel like fluff. That's not really something we would want to include in our summary sentence. So when I'm looking at this paragraph, some things immediately come to mind. The first one is this sentence towards the bottom. Why do these things happen? Is it magic? No, it's not magic. Right? We're talking about static electricity. So in our summary, are we going to include all this stuff about magic? Probably not. So I'm going to go ahead and cross that out in my worksheet as well. And you should be doing the same thing. So if you're on Google Docs, you can go to Format, Text, Strike Through, or use that shortcut. If you're on a computer, you can use this keyboard shortcut, but strike through that. Next, I'm seeing a couple phrases like have you ever, or maybe you have made a. So these are phrases that the author is using to try to connect to the reader, but when we're summarizing, we don't really need all that extra fluff. So I'm going to go ahead and